Welcome to my review of Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 Remake. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 Remake we will revisit one of the most beloved historical simulators ever made. After 20 years of the original release, Koei Tecmo brings us a version based on the power-up kit with the all officers play in all period scenarios features, as well new content. Besides the new content, the number of playable officers has been increased from 600 to 1000. Personally, this is my first time playing this entry in the series. I will start by showing you the options that you have as a new game. If you're new to the game, it's better to select the recommended option. Let's see what I'm talking about. Let's cover the positions you can have as an officer. The ruler option is the classic Romance of the Three Kingdoms experience. You will control everything in your force and cities. You will be in charge of diplomacy as well. As a viceroy, you will control several cities in your division, but you won't be in charge of diplomacy. And as a governor, you will be in charge of your own city. You can control the officers in your city and attack other cities next to yours. The tactician role will allow you to suggest actions to your superiors, either ruler, viceroy or governor. Each suggestion is important to what your force will do next. The common officer is one of the most basic but yet important role. You will be assigned to perform certain tasks to your superiors, and if you're new to the game it will allow you to see and learn how other roles can perform. As a free officer you can find your own force to serve, or create a new one, or just observe the other forces. Let's take a look at the officers list. As you can see, you can pick up an officer from the list. On the right side, we can check their tactics, which are going to be their strengths when managing the cities. You can improve it during the gameplay. Also, you will be able to check their skills at the top, and you can also read their historical biographies. At the bottom, if you click on the list button, you can check their stats, traits, personalities, relationships, and interests, and you will be able to order them in the order that you want, either by stats, name, levels, and so on. After we select an officer from the list, it's going to be listed the available scenarios for that specific officer. And if available, we can filter by force and status, so it will filter specific scenarios. Now let's take a look at the scenarios option. The game will give you 8 periods of years and a fictional scenario category as well. At each period, you will have several historical scenarios. Let's pick up this one at year 188. I will show a bit of gameplay using Liu Bei. In this scenario he is a common officer under Liu Yu. Each scenario has an introduction so you can learn about the current events. Let's watch it.
頻発する兵乱に対し艦長は制度面の問題から手を打てずにいた。州を治める志士が軍権を持たず討伐軍を指揮できなかったのである。
軍権を持つ州牧を新たに置き鎮圧を命じてはいかがか。
皇族龍炎の提案を入れた朝廷は各地に州牧を派遣する。
武力に頼る高孫さんのやり方では優州の統治などできまい。
地方を知らぬ皇族に何ができる。ま、お手並みを拝見しようか。
優秀牧となった龍宮は長居の討伐に向かう。一方益州牧となったのは検索者でもあるこの人物であった。
益州に天使の気あり。皇族龍炎の座所にふさわしかろう。
龍炎は益州の黄金残党を統衆兵として編成し勢力を確立した。時に中平5年7月、群雄割拠の時代は間近に迫っていた。
皆の者、
そうだな。
Now the game will start at the Parliament. Since I'm playing as a common officer, my options will be limited and I will have a small amount of strategy points. Each action costs one of it. Other officers will also give you suggestions. I will conduct espionage as it's one of the most basic actions.
劉玄徳に一案が。
構わないぞ。
承りました。よしよし。
After espionage being accepted, I am now able to see the city stats, troops, officers, and other information.
よしよし。
Since I'm out of strategy points, I will now continue.
はい。異論があるだろうか。一案を講じました。
一案が。
I will now apply at a mission objective, so I can gain merit. The merit will be important to rank up.
竜玄徳に一案が。
Welcome to the city interface. This interface will allow you to carry out city development, inquire at the facilities, which will give you information or find new officers, and engage with other officers assigned to your city. Since I chose the public order mission, I will execute it. Notice that it will show up that other officers are working on the same mission and the linking provability. The links and relationships in this game are super important as they will give you extra results, either by doing missions, by performing at combat, and so on.
任せなって。
I will now head home and interact with Guan Yu so I can improve my relationship. Sometimes, by interacting, and by that, I mean when it's maxed out, they will impart me skills and experience so I can level up some skills. It will also allow me to create synergetic relationships. Once again, the relationships play an important part in this game. By inquiring at a facility, I was able to find a new officer. Let's take a look to see if I can recruit him.
構わんぞ。
竜玄徳申し上げる。
決して期待を裏切ることはありますまい。
竜玄
以後よろしく頼む。
聞いてくれ。
構わん。
竜玄徳申し上げる。
変わらぬ忠義を誓います。
Since I'm out of action points, I will end this month's actions. Notice that after it I will recover action points. It can lead to an event, as we are seeing, and it will help improve the relationship and stats. By the way, after 3 months, it will send me back to Parliament, so we will need to take action. Let's now change to a Parliament scenario where I will play as Cao Cao as a leader, and I will show you how the combat works. I will start by attacking Xiao Pei, which is under control of Lu Bu force. The game will automatically deploy some officers, however, I have more officers, and I will deploy them and select the number of troops and the type of soldiers I can bring to the battle. Since I selected a deputy with plus 10 intelligence to the modifier, I will select archers. Let's start the battle. The first part is the War Council, where my tactician will suggest the troops' positions. I will proceed as he suggested.
さて、準文弱に一計がございます。
かを知り己を知れば百戦危うからず。さあ、そう。
Lubu's special trait will cause intimidation to my troops. Also, some officers can spot traps at the beginning of the battle. As a defensive force, you can deploy them so the enemy units will suffer damage from it. The red hexes are spots where the enemy forces have visibility over my forces.
これで敵はどう出るか。確保現状。参る。前進。
純文弱が一計を案じよう。続け。
どう
Since I am playing as a ruler, I am able to control all units on the field. If I were playing as a common officer, I would only be able to control my only unit.
喜べ。
ドイツを
超文煙の敵はどこだ。
要塞を披露せん。前進。
戦うの前進。続け。
During the battle, you will create links and synergies between officers. It will play a major role in certain attacks if the armies are together.
報告します。さて、
遅れる者はいらん。これで敵はどう出るか。差異を示せ。
確保現状。参る。ついてこい。
Xiahou Dun will now perform an attack with a buff of 30% extra damage since he is linking with Cao Cao.
純文弱が一計を案じよう。行くぞ。押せ。
どう
If you destroy an army, the officer will retreat or be captured. Notice that other officers may change the morale level, depending on the relationships.
いざ。行くぞ。 喜べ。
両方せ
Lubu will now activate his special trait and deal me a huge amount of damage.
受けきれまい。天下無双の分。受け長文前進。長文。
Let's skip a bit of the battle by speeding up the video. Now it's time for Xiahou Dun activate his trait as well. Also on the top, we are able to see how many days have passed since the beginning of the battle, the wind direction, and the actual weather. Besides, if the enemy has reinforcements for you, they will arrive around the 5th day. You can check that info as well in game. The reinforcements will always arrive at a side of the map. They won't spawn near the facilities of each force. Let's use a stratagem right now.
Kamawan. 兵法の真髄、そう猛徳が教えてやろう。
兵ども、足を引っ張るな。今ならば誰にも負ける気はせぬ。喜べ。両方戦が本気になってやる。
要塞を披露せん。行くぞ。
Notice that the more links you have, the higher the damage will be. Also, if you have 3 or more links, it will display a special animation. Now it's time to face Lu Bu in a duel. Sometimes officers will challenge each other in duels. The winner of the duel will destroy the other officer's army. Now, let's talk about the dueling system. This will be the same as the debate system in the game. The officer with the higher stats will start by doing damage to the other. Also, you will have skills that can allow you to deal a higher damage on the first round. As the rounds go on, the higher amount of damage you will deal will increase. Let me explain how this system works. You have to play cards. You can either play a sequence of 3 cards, as for example, 1, 2 or 3, or you can play the same number card if you have more than 1 copy. You can see the enemy cards, and you can see which will be your next cards. The decision is made on the number of the cards in at the same time, the total of the cards you play. You also will have a special card that counts as 1 card and will count as the same number of the card. If you have the win, the special will display and special animation, just like the one you saw. To win a battle, you either need to defeat the enemy leader or destroy their city. I didn't place my troops near this city because the city will attack me with arrows. After winning the battle, you will be able to recruit the defeated officers, or judge them, or release them. Since I failed to recruit some officers, I will judge them. Otherwise, I could release them. They will become free officers if you destroy their force, or they will withdraw to their force cities. I will now judge, which is to perform an execution, all of the rest of the officers. Sometimes if you judge someone who has a relationship with another officer, that other officer will get upset, and it can become an antagonist of yours.
配下になろう。だから思い直せ。なあ、おい。
感服いたした。
皆の才を見せてくれ。
Now it's time to talk about the tail system. The tail system is events that will occur in the game. Some of them are historical events, others are fictional ones and related to missions. You will need to fulfill the requirements of certain historical events to occur. Since I did start this scenario just to capture this footage, I still don't have the ending type of tails, which are endings to the scenario that you selected to play. The most classic way to win a scenario is to conquer all of the territories. But those ending ones will allow you to finish it quicker. The historical scenarios will depend on a lot of factors, and it's a good way for you to learn more about the events that happened during the Three Kingdoms era. You will also have some fictional historical scenarios. You will be able to distinguish them at the Tales menu.
おう。
劉備様、なんとお変わりなきご様子。
おう。
お願いできませぬか。力を貸してくれ。定山の超主流。
Certain historical events will change the shape of the forces. Some officers could die, some forces can disappear, and other forces can arise. You're not obliged to activate the tail. You can ignore it. Some of them will have specific requirements to start.
Ah,
先月ながら
お願いしたい。
なんだとおのれ
Certain historical events will change the shape of the forces. Some officers could die, some forces can disappear, and other forces can arise. You're not obliged to activate the tail. You can ignore it. Some of them will have specific requirements to start. If you're lost in the game, you can always go to the help menu, and you will have several topics that can help you understand the game better.
今のは聞かなかった。どうです？知りたいことありそうですか？表情ってなんか緊張しちゃいますよね。戦闘についてですね。
Well, I hope that by now you had a good overview of the game itself. It's time for the review. Let's talk about the graphics. It's a major graphical overhaul of the classic version. The game design in general is very similar to Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I appreciate the art style of both this version and the original one. Both are timeless classics. About the music. The Romance of the Three Kingdoms series has always had great music. This one is no exception. The music will always feel epic. The game also has different tracks according to the region where you are. The remake will let you play either the classic soundtrack or the remake one. You can compare both versions, and you can change it at any time at the options menu. And about the gameplay. This one is an officer-based game. There are other interactions where the game is force-focused, but this one will really focus on the role-play mechanics. It's a good historical simulator, and you will feel that by doing the duties of the officers at that time. Like I mentioned, the relationships in this game will play a major role in the outcomes. Make sure to work on them. There are various ways to reach your goals. The game will offer you different ending scenarios. Conquering is a major part of it, but you can always demand the surrender of an adjacent force. The game has a road system, so you can only march on adjacent cities that are connected through a road. This will lead to a different approach to conquering cities. The game will make you work your way out of every situation. Always think ahead of your enemies. Your tactician will also help you take some decisions. Don't forget to always use plots against your enemies. This is a game that will make you think, and every action counts. ROTK 8 Remake remains turn-based, both in management and battles. That will also help you take decisions. As the years pass in game, there will be new officers, either historical ones or custom officers. You can have a child in game, and it will turn into an officer some years later. You can adjust the lifespan of officers or even disable deaths, so you can play forever with them. Conclusion and verdict. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 Remake is a really solid game. However, just like the series, it's not for everyone. It has its level of complexity. I do highly recommend this one for the ROTK series fans or other Koei historical simulator fans, as well as for Chinese history fans and grand strategy fans. Some turn-based strategy fans may like this one as well. If you're a fan of the Dynasty Warriors series, you should check it out as well. ROTK 8 Remake is a good entry for newcomers like me. I was acquainted with the series and other Koei titles, and 25 years or more ago, I attempted to play ROTK 3 on Sega Genesis. And now I'm way more interested in the series. I had not played the original version of ROTK 8, but I had seen some footage on YouTube. By the time I'm working on this video, I have a total of 44 hours into the game. I hadn't seen it all for sure, but I'm loving the game. I'm a fan of the Three Kingdoms era, and I also played Dynasty Warriors and other related games. About other media, like movies and series, I had watched some of them. If I had to give a score rating on this one, I would give it an 87/100. Well, that was the video. I hope I gave you a good overview of the game and that you will play it as well. I want to really thank Koei Tecmo Europe for giving me a review copy of the game. It's an honor to play such an amazing game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments sections of this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and take care.